All right, good evening, everyone. We'll go ahead and get started and get going tonight. Talking about finding deals for huge profits. And we're going to get this going on YouTube, streaming there. But yeah, 2 minutes after the hour, I want to welcome you guys out tonight to tonight's webinar. Just going over how to find deals in today's market is super important. And these tips and some of these strategies that we're using right now, these are applicable in any market, but especially for today. So we'll go ahead and get started. So tonight we're going to talk about finding deals and just some of the strategies that we're using in my business, but then also others are using these same strategies, high level real estate investors that's consistently doing deals. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about myself. I'm gonna give you guys the 3 secrets that you need in order to consistently do deals in any market, whether you're in your local market or whether you're going virtual. That these deals are going to be directly applicable to where you are today in today's market right now. Whether we're in a recession, we're going into a recession, we're coming out of recession. That this skill set with these tools are going to help you be successful. Then I'm going to give you guys some time to drop in the Q&A and provide any questions that you'd like me to answer. We'll go through for a couple different questions, and then and then we're gonna give the free giveaway tonight. Just for those who stay around and those who've been following me online the last few days, we're gonna do a one-on-one session that I'm gonna give to someone to allow them to be able to get a one-on-one session, kind of get laser focused on what it is that they're wanting to do in real estate and kind of the different areas in order for them to be set up for success long term. So yeah, so who I am. So Johnny Lynham, for those who don't know me, from Lower Alabama. Not LA as in Los Angeles, but LA and Lower Alabama. But grew up in Alabama, joined the Air Force after I graduated from University of Alabama in college. Been doing it now for 17 years. Kind of been all over the place from a job perspective, from program management, managing $1.3 billion software development contracts to leading ISR operations downrange in a deployed environment and just leading diverse teams. So all that experience kind of helped me when it came to start my own business with real estate investing. Wrote a book last year, Millionaire Real Estate Success Strategy, what they forgot to teach you in school. Married to my beautiful wife, Melissa. We got 3 beautiful kids. And we've been blessed over the years to build up a portfolio now valued over $6 million, 34 units. We're getting an appraisal on a 40 unit deal we're doing with one of my students tomorrow down in Alabama. So that'll be a blessing to here in a few more weeks to add 40 more units to our unit count and just continue to grow. So, and we're going to share these strategies that we're leveraging right now today in order to be successful in this market. So, Operation Restore is my motivated seller forward facing company that helps people that are looking to sell their property. So essentially our marketing arm to how we can help people in the Panama City, Florida market, but then across the state of Alabama as well now. Um, and then when you start looking across with the multifamily side of things, that we're looking across the Southeast, but really focusing in on Alabama as we continue to grow in that space and get laser focused. And then Operation Invest. So that is the private capital raising arm, whereas that we raise money for deals for our single family deals and multifamily deals. Raise private money, whereas that investors that don't want to be hands on, they can invest their capital and get a 10% return on their money. And then also the education arm of what we're doing. We're just being able to help 1,000 people become financially free through real estate. That's what I'm all about. And just being able to help others level up and get to the level of success that I have and being able to be financially free where you can live life on your own terms. And get to the point where you can do almost nearly, I think we were counting them up the other day, nearly 100 real estate transactions from just buying and selling real estate, refinancing real estate. That we've touched a lot of houses, done a lot of deals, a lot of transactions, just a lot of experience that we've gained over the years. That all goes into everything that providing now, just helping people get there. But we always look back, and for those that where we started from, like nobody starts at their point of success and all the experience. You don't start there from day one. A marathon always starts with that first step. For those that heard this cliche, get a good job and save money, drop a one in the chat for you all that's watching tonight. I want to see just where we are from a standpoint. Maybe it was just me that got told, hey, you need to go get a government job, go to the military and and go and get a good job, save 10% of the money that you're making, and that's it. And sometimes they tell you pay yourself. If you heard that, raise your hand. Drop a one in the chat. If you heard that before, because I know for me, growing up where I grew up, that was the kind of advice that I had. And they did the best that they could. They told me what they thought was success, but things have changed now. And whereas that I tell a lot of people now is like, don't worry about learning how to be the best saver. Learn about how to get another skill set where you can command and demand more money. And if you're able to build more skills that can raise money and be able to put more money in your pocket, then you can have more money to invest and not necessarily worrying about saving a little bit that you make, but now you're focusing on those skills. So I know I wasn't the only one that was told this to get a good job and save your money. So with me, that's a picture right there. My first house that I bought, 65,000, Warner Robins, Georgia. Bought one side of a duplex, and that's changed the whole trajectory of my life. But at the same time, I used my VA loan, was able to come in. I saved over $300 a month in rent for what I was paying in my apartment building. But even coming out of college with an electrical engineering degree, I still lacked a command of when it came to financial literacy, understanding investments, understanding real estate. I didn't know. And so when I signed up and moved into my first apartment, I had to have a co-signer with a family member that signed on my lease for me because my credit was jacked up. Because going through college, when paying bills, they gave you this credit card, said, hey, yep, this here. It's like, oh, I got all this money. And now I wasn't being responsible. Didn't know. And so now my credit was jacked up. And so over the next 10 months after I started working with the Air Force, I got my credit together and I was in a position, 1 year in when I got presented with this opportunity, I had done enough when my credit score was high enough where I could get a house. And this just completely changed the trajectory of my real estate investing. And, it was definitely a blessing looking back at it. But as you see there in the picture there in the military, that was probably after about 14 years in that I, continually truck along in the military, continue to do good, to be the best employee, doing great stuff. But yet and still, I was an employee. I was working for the government, had a good secure job, but I wasn't necessarily all in on real estate and real estate investing. But it was something in the back of my mind. I was continuing to go in, get more information, bigger pockets, the podcast, digging in on reading books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I look back at where we are right now. When you start talking about student loans and everything that's happening right now, that the first chapter of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he was talking about how the rich don't work for money. And when you start thinking about it, that was like, wow, hold on. The rich don't work for money. You got the four quadrants, and you go read the book. I encourage you to if you haven't. But to think about how they live off their investment, their money works for them. They don't work for money. And it was like, okay. And I can remember my dad telling me, he was a small business owner. He's like, hey, if you want to be rich, you got to learn how to build a business and work for yourself. And not necessarily, and now I've learned, not necessarily work for yourself, but run a business where you have employees that help take your vision to the next level. And so that's what happened. And so I show you this picture here, one of the best times of my life, being deployed. And I had to figure out, and I think this is the trick for everybody. In order to start doing deals, you got to figure out the skills that you all have today, that you have already right now, whether it's project management, whether it's leadership, whether it's being good with your hands, being an electrician, a plumber, a carpenter, a roofer, whatever it is, the skills that you have today, you have everything you need right now to be successful already. And so little did I know, coming out of this time of my life, leading these troops down range like this, that I came up with my framework in order to be successful in real estate. And so I encourage you all to kind of take time to assess where you are right now and understand where you are today and the skills that you have. And now how can you translate that to real estate? And so with me, it became my find, fix, finish framework. With being able to find deals, we're going to fix, renovate them, and then we're going to figure out our exit strategy. Whether we're going to keep it as a rental property, we're going to fix and flip it and take that money and then eventually buy an apartment building with it. And so that's the strategy, and it's a whole lot that goes into that. But at the end of it, the start of the funnel starts with finding. You got to be able to find deals in any market and to be able to negotiate and come up with win-win situations in order to secure the deals. And so that's one of the things that we're going to dive in tonight, my fine portion of the framework. So 2021, so last year, 5.41 million homes were sold in the U.S. The average age of those individuals that sold their homes in the United States last year was 56 years old, and the average household income was 112,000. So this information here is great information. We're going to keep that back pocket, but this tells us who we're looking for. This is who's selling the houses. Because guess what? We're buying, we're investors, we're buying low. We want to know who's selling. So this is who's selling right now. So if you're in your market, you probably need to look for somebody that's in their mid 50s. That's how they have a pretty decent household income, and that's going to be your avatar and let you know who you need to be looking to, who you need to be marketing to, because they own the real estate and they're the ones that right now are selling. So also in 2021, 10% of sellers were not assisted by a real estate agent when selling their home. And so that's where we go at, whereas that we start talking about off-market deals that are not on the MLS. 10% of 5 million is 500,000. And with me, we've been constantly doing about 10 to 12 deals the last few years, a year. And Forbes says that the average flip is between 40 and 70,000, between, depending on where you are in the country where you're doing it. But if you can make 40 grand and you can do 10 houses, that's 400 grand you can make in a year. So we're talking about 10%. So 500,000 houses sold to investors off market. And we're just looking for you do two deals a year, 40K, that's 80 grand. So we're not talking about a whole lot of volume that you have to do in order to get momentum built up. Whereas that now you got extra income. Now you can buy more rental property and continue to just scale up over time. And at the end of the day, business has two functions, marketing and innovation. And we're going to talk a lot about marketing tonight. And before we get started and going into those three secrets, I want everybody to type in the chat, I am a real estate investor. I want to make sure you guys are engaged. I can't see everybody's face, but I want to make sure you're engaged tonight, because these next three secrets that I'm going to give you, this is going to be, if you apply this information, you're guaranteed to be successful. If you apply this information consistently, you consistently show up for your goals and what you define that you want to do in real estate, that you will be successful. So I want everybody to drop that in the chat. I am a real estate investor, because that's what we're speaking. I'm talking to real estate investors tonight, and I want to make sure that you all understand how important it is right now to claim and speak over your own life what you are now, because you wouldn't be here at 10 o'clock tonight if you weren't interested in being a real estate investor. And if I'm talking to you, you're going to be a successful real estate investor, because we're not going to do half of anything, or partially show up, because this here we're talking about generational wealth, bettering the lives of those that's coming behind us, our seed, our family, and just really moving out on that. So that's one of the things that I just want to encourage you guys to claim this every day. That we're saying chat is disabled. Okay, I'm a real estate investor. Okay, I see somebody's coming in there. I think chat's been opened up now. But yeah, I see you, Bobby. Yeah, Bobby said he's a real estate investor, and that's it. We got to claim it, and because at the end of the day, this is what's going to get you through those tough times, because it's not going to always be easy. There's going to always be challenges that come up, but that's where leaning on your network, creativity, experiences of others, and understanding who you can go to when you have challenges going through this journey, that's going to separate you from those that succeed from those who give up and stop trying. So real estate investor services. So we just said we're all real estate investors. All right, now, so what does that mean? How do we define ourselves? What do we like to do? So as a real estate investor, some things that come to mind are: one, we buy houses as is. We solve problems. Mr. Seller, you don't have to fix your house up. I'm gonna take care of that. Mr. Seller, you don't have money to fix your house up, or you got to move out of your house by next week. You're going moving across country for your job, or you're in pre-foreclosure. You got to be out in 2 or 3 weeks before they foreclose. We'll take it as is, but we're gonna have to get it at the right price. I only can pay you so much. If I'm gonna take on this challenge for you, I only can pay you so much. We don't have to deal with realtors. I work with a realtor. I have a realtor on my team now that works as my acquisition manager, because I buy houses 14, 15 hours away from me. And so she operates on my behalf and can negotiate with sellers, whereas that I'm not there. I don't have to do that. But in the past, if I'm in my own market, I didn't use realtors. But I've learned the power of how now I can leverage really good realtors and bring them on my team to be successful. But you don't have to have a realtor. A real estate transaction, you can go direct to the owner. You can use the contracts that I have, that that you guys will get. The ones that continue that work part of our community, they get all that we the documents and contracts that we use. But it's just a piece of paper or what you agree to. You could actually have a contract on the back of a napkin and say, hey, we agree to this, a couple sentences, and you're good. No fees. That's an advantage. A lot of people, they have a negative connotation when it comes to realtors. The fees, we got to pay them. They don't feel like they earn it. They don't do a lot, which some aren't. There's some bad realtors out there, but there's some really good ones that are worth the money. But that's one thing from a marketing standpoint that we can tell sellers are, hey, you don't have to worry about paying any fees. I'm gonna pay your closing costs if we can agree on the right price. We close fast or slow. A lot of times, we buy houses fast. We can close in 3 days, a week, 2 weeks, which is good. But a lot of times, people don't want to sell fast. They may be in probate. They may have personal items from their loved one that's still in the house. They got to get out over time, and it's an emotional time for them. They may not be able to move fast, or they may live out of state. And so sometimes going slow is your friend. They want to go slow. They're like, hey, I need 6 weeks. Or the attorney said we can't close until 2 months later. We got one that's closing the early part of next week that we've been under contract since the end of June. But it was a probate. They had to go through, get the court approval, and then they had to get some stuff out. And it was like, hey, let's sign the contract. 90 days, when you're ready, we'll be ready as long as the title work's done. And so you got to be flexible with your approach on how you close, whether it's fast or slow. And then we pay closing costs. That's an advantage. Hey, this is the number. If you got back taxes or any liens, you're going to pay that out of this number. But if I say you're going to get 150, you're going to get 150 minus the taxes and liens, and we're going to pay the closing costs. And so that flexibility and being able to be straightforward, and that's an advantage that us as real estate investors that we have. So what's the number one secret starting off? And none of these are really valued more than other, but we need to understand who our services are for. So we're talking about helping people. So 500 people sold without a realtor, but who are the ones that we actually care about? We're not going to target all 500,000 people, but we want to focus in on the ones that are motivated. So we need to understand, what challenges are they facing? What do they care about? Do they care about money? Do they care about their time? Do they care about, their residents are going to be taken care of if it's just a rental property? Or do they care about taxes? Do they care about, not paying taxes? So all that goes into understanding what this person is dealing with, and going from there to be able to provide a solution to their problem. Because we don't buy houses, we buy problems. And so that's the thing. And the other side to that is you make money in real estate when you buy, not when you sell. We all talk about, hey, we sold for X amount, but you really make money when you buy, because if you don't buy for the right price, then it's going to make it hard to make money on the back end. What support do they need? Do they need somebody to come in and help clean out the house? Do they need money to move out because they're in pre-foreclosure and they got to move their family? Do they need some money to come have somebody move their stuff into an apartment? Anything like that, where it's that you got to think out the box and think solution, solution, solution. When you're talking to a homeowner potentially looking to sell, you need to be listening and understand what's their problem, what's motivating this person to want to sell and sell off market, and then go from there. And then understanding, okay, where do they live? Okay, what side of town is this? Is the Amazon factory coming here? Is the new Apple headquarters down the street? Understanding, is this where the best school system is in the district? And just understanding those dynamics from the community and environment, it allows you to understand, okay, where is this person coming from? What potential upside do I have? And then just really being able to put the deal together. And then understanding, where are these people spending time? Are they at the real estate investor meetups? Hey, maybe a traditional landlord or portfolio, they hang out with other investors. Or this may be somebody that's working two jobs and they just lost a job and now they're in pre-foreclosure and they need help because they're going to lose their house. They're going to lose all their equity. They're going to have this foreclosure on their credit report, and it's just going to go with them for the next, 4 years, and it's going to continue to just slow them down, versus being able to sell to an investor fast that can close that action out and stop them. And now they can move on with their life, don't have to worry about the credit. They could probably put a little money in their pocket, just depending on how much equity they have in the deal. So just being able to bring those solutions. But we need to understand, where are these sellers at, so we can meet them where they are and provide that solution for them. So motivated seller challenges. If you're taking pictures, take a picture of this one. But this is just going to let you know, hey, where are these motivated sellers? What challenges do people face in their life that could be an indicator that they need our services? Tired landlords, had a death in the family, the house is going through probate, pre-foreclosure, bankruptcy, relocation, retirement, divorce, downsizing, code violations, taxes, foreclosure. The bank's already foreclosed and now the bank has it. You can work with the banks to be able to get the property. Code violations, taxes, vacant, short sales, or transition to nursing home. We met with it was actually with my parents' house. My mom passed away last year, and going through, and I called about someone helping us with a estate sale because I live so far away. And she said this realtor, her practice that she targets transitioning elderly people to nursing homes, whereas that when they transition, they call her, they dispose of all the personal items in the house, and then depending on what they want to do, they sell the house. And usually they do, because if they're moving into the nursing home and if they have to go through and Medicare is providing the monthly payment, then they're going to have to actually sell all their assets and get that money and provide it to Medicare. And then Medicare takes all their assets and then they continue to pay for their care until, X amount of years in the future, until someone passes away. And so that's her. She works with transitioning people in the nursing homes and takes care of the property. And so that's her strategy, her niche. And I'll tell you that focusing in on all this, but the riches are in the niches. If you get good at one or two things, because guess what? LeBron James is what? He's great at basketball. He's not out there trying to play football, baseball. He's not playing the piano. That his niche is basketball, and he's focused on that. And so that's one of the things where is that if you focus on one area, you become great at that you can do really well. So what's the number one marketing strategy right now for deals? 2022, where we are, summertime frame. Somebody drop in the chat. What do you think right now is the number one marketing strategy for real estate deals? Mailers, okay. I got somebody said mailers. What else? Anything else? Yeah, so the chat may be disabled. I think you guys are gonna have to use the Q&A. Yeah, just use the Q&A and we'll do it there. and get the comments there coming in the Q&A. So I got someone said that mailers. So mailers is good. I know a lot of people right now, they're saying that their mailers, they're getting extremely low response rates with mailers. And so people are adjusting. Bandit signs. Oh man, I love bandit signs. Yeah, we did a hotel deal earlier this year on bandit signs. Cold calling. Okay. Yep. Yep. Digital marketing. Yes, a lot of people online. Yeah, all great suggestions and avenues. But what's number one? There really isn't one. And the best strategy is to figure out two or three strategies that you can consistently do. If you're doing mailers, you need to be in it for the long haul, whereas that you're gonna mail these people at least for 6 months straight. If you're going to be doing cold calling, you want to be able to follow up with people. Whereas that you're actually going through, you have a process to understand what numbers are good numbers. If you got a bunch of bad numbers, to be able to take those, skip trace them again to get the right numbers for people, and then follow up, because the money is in the follow up. That you think about it, whenever you buy something, that you don't buy something the first time that you see it. You may go back and forth. You may do a little research, do some reviews, and then you make a purchase. It's the same way with sellers. That a lot of times you're gonna have to touch them 2 or 3 times before you get a response. And so being able to pick 2 or 3 things that you could be consistently doing marketing, for me, is cold calling, sending text messages. We send about 500 messages a day, and then bandit signs and realtors. And I'll talk. I didn't have that one on there about the realtors, but one of the strategies, and I guess this is secret number 4. But what I do is when I find an MLS deal, that I go directly to the list agent, and I have the list agent represent me as the buyer. I can ask them questions and then come in with a cash offer. I'm like, hey, this is what I'm thinking based off our conversation. And now I have somebody that the seller trusts representing me with my offer. And now it's on them to where is that now it benefits them, because they can get both sides of the commission. They get 3% from the seller and then 3% from the buyer, and the seller is paying both sides of the commission because they would pay somebody else's real estate agent that came in and bought the deal. But now this one agent gets both sides, and so they're motivated to see me be successful because they're gonna get paid both sides of the commission. So that's definitely a tip that you all can take with you. So secret number 2, that was bonus. How can motivated sellers find you, and then where can you find them at? That's the marketing 101. They got to be able to find you, and you got to be able to find them. So this is what we're talking about. Some of the things that people said already on the list here. We got, so broad marketing. When you think broad marketing, just think about billboards, or everybody can see it. They may be interested in selling a house. They may not even own a house, but they're seeing it. So bandit signs, billboards, social media. You don't know who sees the post. Facebook, Instagram, is just touching a lot of people. It's cold calling, when you're just going through and calling people with a lot of equity. They may not be one to sell. You don't know. Or out of state landlords, you're just calling all of them. You don't know if they're ready to sell right now or not. But you're being able to just walk around with your T-shirt or car signs, business cards. You can take a screenshot of this. But these are just different ways where you can market to someone. And you got to constantly, as a real estate investor, you got to be constantly marketing. And that's why I say you pick 2 or 3, because you can't do all this stuff. But pick the ones that you want to do, and just stay committed and consistently doing this in order to make sure that you're successful. Because you think about it, Coca-Cola and McDonald's have been around a long time. Everybody knows their name. But guess what? They're still marketing. They're still advertising on TV because they want to be top of mind and they want to be relevant. Whereas when you think about a hamburger, they want you to come into McDonald's and not go to Wendy's. So that's broad marketing. Tactical marketing. Now we're looking at, hey, I got a list of tired landlords that they just had evictions in the court. I got this list, and I know that, hey, it's highly likely they may be interested in selling. Or this one is probate. They just inherited a house that they didn't own before, and they live out of state. It's highly likely they want to sell, because we all know with probate that the home is the most expensive asset or the most valuable asset in the estate. And most of the times they have to sell the house in order to settle the estate, pay the attorney, pay off all the debts and everything. So the house usually has to go. Pre-foreclosure, bankruptcy, relocation, retirement, divorce. Those are all precursors for somebody potentially having a life challenge and having to sell a house. So now if you focus on one of these niches, or just 2 or 3 of them, now you know how you can go directly. You can be tactical, because you can say, hey, I saw your house came up in the court records that you're in pre-foreclosure. Hey, we help people in pre-foreclosure. I got testimonials. This is what we do. We're gonna take care of you. Give me a call. I know this is super sensitive. It may be embarrassing, but we're here to help you. Time is of the essence. Now you're not just sending a letter saying, "Oh, we buy houses, we close fast." It was like, "Hey, no, I know exactly what your situation is. That's my specialty. I'm here to help you. Call me up. Let's go and get this done." And I got receipts to show that, hey, that I've helped other people just like you in the past. So that speaks a whole lot more than just a generic we buy houses, sell your house fast, and do that. And same thing with like taxes. They're like, hey, we saw that the county said that you're back on taxes. They're about to take your house because of the taxes. This is what we do. We can help you. We can go through and share with you the 2 or 3 different options that you have with being able to get your house out of this situation. And if these don't work, then potentially might potentially buy it from you. And so just giving people options, just being upfront goes a long way. But being able to get good at tactically marketing and getting those niche lists that you would definitely be successful and build wealth. So with this, kind of looking at the tactical broad, where do you guys need to focus? It depends, because it comes down to 2 things: your resources. You either got time and money. If you got both, then you're blessed. But if you don't have enough time and you don't have enough money, you got to figure it out. So if you got a lot of time, then you need to look on the time side that, hey, maybe I need to do more networking because I don't have a lot of money to send direct mail. Or maybe I need to go to the courthouse and get some of this free data of some of these niche lists: the probate list, the code violation list, the water shutoff list, the divorce list. All this stuff is public record. So maybe I need to just go spend my time that I do have to get this niche list, to get this data. Whereas that now I can get a list of 30 people that just came out of eviction court in their own houses. And all I need is one that's ready to sell, that doesn't want to put money back into a deal because they're just tired of it. And so now versus being able to go through and look at spend more money because, hey, I'm working my day job. I got enough money set aside where I can send 10,000 mailers out to absentee owners that own a piece of property that live out of state. I can send it to 10,000 people, and then there maybe be 1 or 2 in there. And so if I spend $1,000 on marketing, it's okay because I don't have the time, but I have the money. And so that's where you can go real broad. You can send it to 1,000 people, or you can have your team. Like I have a virtual assistant team because I'm still active duty. I still have my military day job. And so I have a team that's working on sending those 500 text messages out a day, that's making those cold calls on my behalf. And so I have to leverage other people's time that come in and help execute the mission for the business. And so that's where you kind of look at that trade-off: time and money, because you can go further and touch more people with the more capital or building up your team. Or if you don't have a lot of money, you still can get those niche lists for free from the courthouse. And you can, or you can buy $400 for bandit signs. We bought $400 worth of bandit signs, got 100 signs, put them out, and we got a $35,000 deal from those $400 bandit signs. And so that's the thing like that, whereas that, you can spend a little money and you get 1 or 2 deals like that, and you'll be in great shape. And so that's the trade-off that you got to understand with the resources side of things. And the niche list here, that's your county data, going into the probate, pre-foreclosure, code violations, your divorce and bankruptcy. That's all free data you can get from your courthouse, with the county. And then just networking. Networking is so powerful. Just you're one deal away from just changing the trajectory of your life, but at the same time, you're also just one relationship away from changing the trajectory of your life. Whether you meet an attorney think about it. You meet one attorney, a divorce attorney, he brings you 3 deals a year, and you make 40K a deal. That's 120 grand you made out one relationship by just, hey, talking to an attorney. Hey, this is my trifold pamphlet. This is what I do. I work with people in probate. Now this probate attorney's like, okay, hey, I got a deal. I can bring you this family that needs help. You said this is what you do. Boom. Now you didn't have to spend anything on marketing, just a relationship with a probate attorney, and you being able to go in and show him how you can add value to his clients. And the attorney is now recommending you to their client. Of course, they're gonna give you the time and listen to you. So that's one of the things. Real estate agents, now you got agents out there bringing you deals. The deal we're closing on a condo that one of my students found from networking with the agent, and it's a probate deal. She brought it to him off market, and boom, we're gonna get the deal closed. For its probate, that's a powerful one because a lot of people, baby boomers, are getting older, passing away, and so if you get good at that, there's going to be a lot of opportunities there. Networking with other investors, getting referrals from sellers. People love testimonials. They love working with you. They're going to tell their friends that have property. If they are a landlord, they may have other landlords that they know, and they'll tell like, "Hey, you ready to sell too? Call up Bob. Bob's going to take care of you." Executors of estates, contractors, insurance agents, appraisers, people that's going out seeing real estate, that's in the real estate space, contractors, the HVAC, air conditioning guys, all that these people that are out in the streets, that the more people that you have, wholesalers, working with wholesalers, whereas that you can, if you get a wholesaler that has a great deal, like, hey, sell me the deal and I'll give you 10% of the equity, 15% of the equity on the back end. And you can be a partner in the deal. And now, instead of him just getting paid up front, now he's got some equity on the backside of the deal. And now your deal is way more. If you can pay him his 15,000 assignment fee and he gets a little equity, that's better than just getting 15K and being done with the transaction. So there's so many ways with creativity, but building these relationships and networking is powerful. We start talking about the broad marketing, some of those techniques: postcards, letters, text messages, cold calling, ads, SEO, driving for dollars, newspapers, road signs. Whereas that now it's just going out to everybody, to the masses, and you really can't control who's seeing the message. They may be selling, they may not, you don't know, but you're just throwing a lot of pieces out there and just hoping one sticks with somebody, and you get a deal that way. That one just requires more resource, a little bit more money, but still can be successful. At that point, it's just a numbers game. And with all of this, it's a numbers game, but you got, with the broad marketing, you got to touch a whole lot more people in order to be successful. So we talked about how to identify who needs our help, being able to find those situations. Then we talked about, hey, some of those ways that we can reach them. And then really on the third secret, you got to figure out your resources. You got time and money. Do you want to focus more on your time, or do you have some resources you can put towards finding your deals, and then really going from there with putting together your strategy on what you need to do in order to be successful, and how you can be consistently showing up to be successful. And then we and go through. And then my secret, kind of bonus secrets, were just working with real estate agents we've made a lot of money the last couple of years just doing that, even in a hot market. Whereas that we've gotten a deal with a listing agent, whereas that he had 5 people that were going to walk the property that same day. I called it like 9 in the morning. I was like, hey, if we come in at full list price, cash offer, I want you to represent me. Can we get the deal done? Are, are they reviewing offers now one by one, or are they waiting for everybody to come in, highest and best? He's like, hey, let me call them up. Hour later, he's like, hey, we can get the deal, we can get it done like that. And he still had people that had showing scheduled, and we got the contract over and got it signed. And he wasn't playing. He was like, hey, I'm about to get this 6%. So it's stuff like that, just strategies like that'll make you successful. Boom, 2022 deal. So the stuff that I'm talking about, these strategies we're using. Operation Steadfast, that was a deal we done in Panama City. We got that one from text messaging. Magic City is one with one of my students in Birmingham, a fix and flip that we got that came from a wholesaler. Pink Panther, that one came from MLS, that same strategy with getting the agent to work both sides of it. Golden Arch, that was one that came from a referral, a buddy of mine that was working a subject to deal out of St. Louis. Swift Tortoise, that came off the MLS. Wildfire was the one that I was talking about that we did with the sign campaign earlier this late spring time frame. And then Op Destiny, that one's coming up closing early next week. That was the probate property. Double Down, that duplex that we got from text message campaign with my VA down in the Mobile area. Cali Love was an MLS, saying that they're getting the listing agent to get that one with both sides to commission. Sprinters, that condo, that probate property that my student found. And then West River, that's that 40 unit. We got the appraisal going on tomorrow on that one with one of my students. That's actually a picture of me and 2 of my students right there, Reggie and Jermaine. But one of my students, was able to get this deal. We worked with the owner and got it under contract, which is going to be a really sweet deal. We got some owner financing it mixed in there as well too. And so that's going to be a great asset to go through. So this stuff works. You just got to put in the work and be consistent and go through. One of the things that I did want to offer up to you guys was my deal flow mastery course that kind of walks through one just I'll tell you the everything that's gotten you to the point that you know the information that you have has gotten you this far, but to go to a whole nother level, to be a whole nother level of success doing deals, that you're gonna have to change your habits, you're gonna have to change the person that you are in order to get to that next level. And so mindset and being able to get over that gap and kind of set those goals to get to the next level is super important before you start doing anything in real estate. That you really have to focus in on who you are, where you want to be, and get laser focused on your why. What's important? What's driving you to real estate? Is it you want to get your time back? You want to stop working for money, and whereas that now your money's working for you, or you want to get a career change in the real estate and build a business around it, or you want to be able to get more time back to spend with your family, go on vacations, live life on your. Because I'm a true believer that I wasn't put on this earth to we're sitting in a cubicle until I turn 65 and then retire, then start living life for 10 years and then I check out of here. And so that was always in the back of my mind. I was like, hey, I got to do more. It's more to this than just working every day, 2 days off Saturday and Sunday to recharge my batteries, then just to go back work 5 more days to live for the weekend and recharge to do it all over again. But going through that, I share with you guys my morning success routine that I use, but then also all the marketing materials that we use to get these deals when we're working, whether it's the bandit signs, we actually putting a billboard up here soon in Panama City as well too. But the letters that we're sending for probate or divorce attorneys, the pamphlets you can give to these attorneys to just kind of lay out all your services and products that you have for their clients and how you can help them. But laying all that, but at the end of the day, being able to come together to build out your own custom marketing kit and plan, whereas that now you have your key performance indicators, your KPIs that you can measure success on a weekly basis, whereas that you can hold yourself accountable and continue to move through. So this was something that I extracted out from my coaching program, which we probably have another cohort for the coaching coming up in a few weeks. Probably we'll launch another fall cohort with that. But I still wanted to be able to, because I've been talking to people about deal flow and getting deals and just speaking at some different like masterminds and groups for people. And so a lot of people, when I have a conversation after the event, that people are talking about, hey, I'm struggling with finding deals. How do I find deals? And so I was like, okay, we got to put this out here, whereas that I can try to help people outside of just coaching and do this. So all of this together is valued at a little bit under 5K. It's not 5K tonight, of course, but it's $497. So that's where it is for the Deal Flow Mastery course. For those that showed up tonight, if you're interested in trying to do more deals and you're thinking about, hey, I'm going to be serious about this, consistently going after getting deals and kind of get 1 or 2 deals and kind of change my trajectory and be serious about this, then I think this is the right place for you to kind of come in and get a lot of this information, because I only can talk about so much in 1 hour with where we are with the business and all the nuances that go in to be successful. But if you're thinking about, you're serious about it, then realestatewithjohnny.com/deal flow course, and that'll get you to the page there where you can get access to that and you get immediate access and go through that content and and get going after getting these deals. Because I'm excited for you, because where the market is now, a lot of people are pulling back. But for those that are serious and getting in, that your competition is sitting on the sideline. So I think there's going to be great opportunities to build wealth. So that's there with the Deal Flow course to check that out. And then now for kind of the Q&A, I want to give you guys some time. Where we at? We let's see. We got time for probably about 2 or 3 questions. I want to get some questions in, since we got time for you guys that's still here that came out tonight. Could you please go into more detail about the marketing materials and resources? Yeah, so really, like, it's twofold. So like the text sequence. So we have text messaging campaigns, whereas that we send out 2 or 3 days. There's like, hey, Mr. Seller, I'm interested in buying XYZ. No response. Okay, we send it another day. We do like, hey, we're really serious. We want to buy this property. Okay, and then we wait a week, and then we send another round of text messages. So I share with you like the text message campaigns that we send out to our list, the letters that we share with people where we go out, whether, and it's focus on the niche, whether it's divorce, probate. You want to send the right letter. The postcards, who we use with our postcard service to send out the postcards. Right now, I think 33 cent a postcard is what we send out when you're sending out the blast to do that. So we work with a company that's based out of Pensacola, Florida. Work with them that does that. They have really good rates. The company that we use a company out of Orlando that does our band designs, that with the template and everything, how you can use that. And so it's just really all those resources, and then the custom kit to kind of put your marketing plan together, so you can track your KPIs and just understanding where you should be with that. But also where can you pull this list data? So where can you pull this data from the people who own all the rental properties in your area that live out of state? How can you get that data with list source, with using that to pull data? You can also get that from PropStream. But then also, how do you go through and get phone numbers and email addresses for these people, and just share some of the system that we use for us to skip tracing to get those phone numbers. So all that stuff is included, and then just more stuff. Whereas that I'm probably forgetting something with like how you get your different phone numbers if you want to use different marketing numbers. But it doesn't have to be complicated, and it doesn't have to be really drawn out to get going. That a lot of stuff is just straightforward, and you just start going and doing it, and doing it. But it's really just having those resources so you know what exactly you need to put together. I'm more focused on text messaging, sending mail, and cold calling. And then like if you're focused on some of these niche lists, like if you go, it's not that many people going to divorce. Like, hey, I'm working on divorces, so I'm gonna get 15 letters, and like you can send letters out. You can actually send it out another hack that you guys can use. You can send it out certified mail, so they have to sign for it. So you know they're gonna sign for it, and they're gonna have to open it up when you send the mail. So that's another hack too. Whereas when you get these niche smaller lists, that you can actually you can pay a little bit more and make sure you send it certified that they open it, and then and get your stuff. Make sure that they lay eyes on it, don't just throw it in the trash. Um, Will this be on YouTube? I got to get with my team and see. I think, yep, it's definitely recorded. So we'll see how we get that out, and we probably can just email a link or something once we put it out there so you guys can see it. Details. If I have no money, how can I get started with generating leads? Kind of just what I talked about. Go to the courthouse, understand how the pre-foreclosures are filed, probate data is filed, divorce data is filed, and tell them, hey, I want to get a list of all the divorce filings for the last 3 months. And then if they say no, tell them I want to file a FOIA Act, Freedom of Information Act, whereas that they have to give you that data. They can't say no because it's public information. It may take them a long time to get to it, but usually most of them, I know, like in Northern Virginia, I think they told me they have 5 days to respond, so they don't play. They gotta turn that data over to you, and so that's what I think. Start with that courthouse data, but then networking. It doesn't cost any money to network. You can go in and talk to an attorney. You want to have when you're talking to people, you want to have your stuff together. You don't want to be stumbling over your words. You want to be confident and know what you're talking about. But going to a real estate investor association meetup is a great place to meet different people. Get on wholesalers lists. Wholesalers are out there, and I tell you, if you get on a wholesalers list, even if the wholesaler is overpriced, still make them an offer, because you never know. Nobody may make an offer, but at least you give them an offer and tell them why you're offering an X amount of price. And then if the deal falls out, they may come back and like, hey, well, you the second highest offer. Do you want this deal? So I always tell people, definitely make an offer and let them know what you can pay for them, even if it's 10, 15 or more cheaper than what they're asking for. So that's some definitely way, if you don't have money, with just networking, using your time, and then getting data from the courthouse. How many leads should I shoot for starting out? It's a numbers game. If you got a list of 10 people that just evicted all their tenants, you don't need but 10 to really go through. You're just looking for one deal. So your niche list don't have to be that large. That's the great thing with focusing on a niche, and then if they're motivated. Because if you can find a house they behind on their taxes, the owner's in pre-foreclosure, and he just got a divorce, it's 9 times out of 10 that person wants to sell. And so that person is definitely more motivated than, say, somebody who just owns a rental property and they live out of state and they got no mortgage and got a lot of equity. It's nothing really forcing them, no challenges in their life are really forcing them to sell. And so that's what the broad market. But if you can get in those niche lists, that you can have a real small list, but as long as everybody on that list is motivated, it doesn't have to be that big. And so that's the strategy with that. Whereas that you can get a big list if you don't have a lot of motivation, but as you get more and more people that are motivated, that the list doesn't have to be that big. No, those are great questions. What incentive should I give a realtor to send me leads? Really, the big one is with the realtors that you could close the deals for them. They get paid. They get paid on their deal volume. So if they're bringing you deals and you're closing on them, then they can bring you those leads and they're gonna get paid. And then if you're flipping, then the other incentive is, hey, tell them that they can list the house on the back end. When you fix it up and when you get ready to put it on the market, that they can be your agent that listed, and then they get paid on that side as well too. So that'll definitely be an incentive for them. No, all those are great questions. Any other questions before we get to the winner? I'm not gonna hold. It's 10:50, and I'm gonna get ready to announce the winner that got the one-on-one session with me. Um, that we're gonna kind of sit through and go through your strategy session and kind of help you get your plan together to get going with your real estate journey. I'm definitely excited about that. And then somebody said here, we'll drop this in the chat. All right, can y'all see the chat? All right, there you go. Oh, it just says panelists. Hold on. There you go. Everybody can see that. How often do you reevaluate your deal flow? With the reevaluation of the deal flow, you want to constantly you want to constantly understand what's working, what's not working. You probably don't want to change it every week. You're going this and that because you want to be consistent. You want to give things time to work. So I think that's the biggest thing that you want to do is be able to be consistent when you're not changing. But you definitely want to understand, hey, am I seeing a reduction? That's where measuring your KPIs, you can see your data and you can see how it's ebbing and flowing. If something's off, if something's not working, but because you can't change and have an effect on what you don't measure. So if you're not measuring your performance at all, then it's going to be hard for you to reevaluate. So I think you just reevaluate as you see things aren't working, and then just kind of asking people, other investors, hey, is a 1% return rate good or bad? Okay, if it goes up to 2%, is that good? And so I think really knowing where the metrics should be, that'll help you kind of set that up. Whereas that you kind of know how you need to modify things and evolve, because you definitely got to be flexible with your approach and change as everything changes. No, that's a great one. All right. So without further ado, so the winner for tonight is Ryan Ashley Lunsky. I'm just going through. The winner just goes to whoever participated the most in the chat tonight. So definitely send me it's on Facebook, shoot me a DM there on Instagram with your email address so we can get that set up for you. Ryan, definitely appreciate your participation tonight, man. And and so we'll have that one-on-one session here and get you squared away. And and then with that, everybody else, for those who don't, you get a free copy of my book. So socialproofwealth.com/free, where everybody you can download a free copy of my book, Millionaire Real Estate Success Strategies. Definitely you all will be blessed. Some great stories, some other investors, my story, and then just some strategies you all can use to get deals and start going and get started on this journey, because life is short. Tomorrow's not promised, and so you definitely want to start moving out on this and start taking action today. And being serious about it, because the time is tomorrow isn't promised to any of us. So I think the sooner you get started, the better off that you're going to be. And the best time to start building wealth was yesterday. So the next best time is now. So get going. make some equity happen, and see you guys around. You got any questions? You guys know how to kind of find me. And yeah, look forward to seeing success on your real estate investing journey. And I think that's it tonight. And so, cool.
Recording stopped.